Hello and welcome back to Dreamwalker Tarot. My name is Dawn and this is the April reading for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Mercury. Please go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell for post notifications. This month I will be using the Celtic Cross spread, and the card that comes out in the position of your current situation or what is currently happening with you is the Emperor card. And so this feels like you are in a space where you're instituting really rigid, strong boundaries. You are basically bossing up right now, right? So you're really kind of concerned with instituting some type of order, structure in your life. I'm really trying to instituting some authority over your life, being more disciplined, being more focused. You can also be stepping into the role of, this card is like a provider card. So you might be stepping to a space where you're feeling like you have to provide, you have to take care of your family. You're going to be like the sole breadwinner of your family and of your situation. Some of you, this card might not be your energy, but it might be someone that you might be dealing with who is currently in your sphere. This could be a masculine or a masculine presenting Aries person, or just someone who really kind of gives off like authoritative vibes. This could be a father figure. This card is usually representative of a father figure in your life. And so this might be the energy that this person is bringing into your life, you know, helping you to establish strict boundaries, really kind of setting up disciplines for you. And so this is kind of like what's currently happening with you. The card that is crossing you is the Hierophant. So what is crossing, the Emperor card is the Hierophant. That's so interesting. So the Hierophant is really just talking about like traditions, talking about, like it's referring like spiritualness. So this also okay, let me, before I jump ahead, because I'm getting a bunch of stuff. So this is like okay, so the Hierophant is crossing the father figure. And so this actually kind of feels like a battle between two very distinct personalities, if I'm being honest. I'm just going to go right into it. It feels like a battle between two different personalities. So you have a father figure and you have like a preacher type energy, a pastor type energy. There's a spiritual connection here. So this could be, this is also the card for marriage. So this could be like your husband or someone outside, and then someone else that's outside of your husband. So it could be like your boss. So there's like a conflict between those two energies here, right? The Hierophant is also the representation of Taurus. So we have Taurus energy and we also have Aries energy on the board. And like those two energies are kind of conflicting in your life. So it might be like it doesn't feel like these two personalities, like again, the Emperor could be you. I don't really feel like it's you. I feel like it's someone else that has a little bit of influence over your life. Which is coming in direct conflict with someone that you already have in your life, or it might be kind of like kind of conflicting with your spiritual beliefs and your spiritual values, right? If I'm being honest, I really getting like cheaty vibes. Like I'm getting cheaty vibes, but we'll see what the rest of the cards say. The card that is showing up in the past is being represented here by the Page of Swords. And so this is an indication that this action here is what's leading to your current action. So at some point you were kind of in a space where you really had like a thirst for knowledge. You really wanted to learn some things. You really wanted to kind of like explore new ways of communicating, new ways of dealing with things. It's like new, fresh, trying to get into stuff energy, like really just trying to learn more. Really just trying to kind of like go for it in terms of like really trying to master yourself. So again, this, like I said, this energy of the Emperor could be you in your current state, in your mature state after mastering the Page of Swords energy, which is entirely possible, right? So this is kind of like really just trying to kind of establish yourself on a legitimate note by really kind of like mastering your craft and learning as much as you can learn. And I feel like that this energy is kind of what is bringing you to the Emperor energy. Some of you could have been getting information from this Emperor or learning from this Emperor, and so you're looking at this Emperor person as a person that is like, really kind of like the top of his field, is really disciplined, is really kind of like worked himself or herself up to the space of authority. And I feel like there's a little bit of admiration on your part for this person, and so you might have been under their tutelage, learning from them. In the conscious space, we have the Page of Wands. So the pages are like they're like messenger cards. So it's like information coming into you, but also it's like new, fresh energy. And so the Page of Swords and the Page of Wands together is an energy that is kind of representative of someone who is really having like a passion and a desire to kind of like learn a field, learn a craft, really kind of like throwing themselves into their creativity and really working to the space where like they're mastering their craft. I'm getting a lot of mastering your craft energy. For some of you, there could be children, in the mix with the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords. We have an Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra, potential child or person. Those signs could also be in your chart, but there's also the Page of Wands energy, which could be a young Sagittarius, Aries, and Leo child. So those could be two children affecting the dynamic of the situation. Predominantly, like, you could really be trying to acquire this knowledge and acquire this discipline to kind of demonstrate to these two people how certain things should be done. But I do kind of feel like more than that, there is this sense of you looking back at your younger self and really kind of being like, I was this person who was focused, who had the energy, the creativity, and you might not necessarily be feeling that way right now, because the Page of Wands in reverse and the Page of Swords in reverse are both kind of like looking to the past. So it's like an energy where you might be in something of a cycle. There might be a sort of cycle happening, because looking to the past kind of feels like this is something that has happened before. Or you're kind of like in a space where you're looking back at your past and just being like, like that I wish type energy, like, kind of like looking where you're at and kind of being regretful of not being able to still tap into that youthful type of energy, or just kind of reminiscing about what has been leading you up to the situation where you're at right now. Because it definitely feels like a cycle of some sort. There's a lot of looking back action here happening here. I wanted to kind of like go back to the Emperor energy and the Hierophant energy and pull clarifiers for that situation. And so the cards that came out, I'm using the Grand Tableau Lenormand Oracle deck, and the cards that came out to clarify the Emperor and the Hierophant card is the fish, the birds, the mountains, the bear, and the mouse. So okay, so I mean, obviously I feel like there is some push and pull energy, right? There's like some difficult energy happening between these two people in your life. And some of it might be kind of like surrounded a little bit in a little bit of gossip. So it does have like a salacious feeling to these two individuals showing up here. And so I feel like that's the reason why the fish card is showing up, but also the birds, because the birds is like a little bit of a gossip. But the fish is also talking about like financial abundance and money and wealth, which is is kind of like feeding into that, like the whole emperor archetype. So it definitely feels like a separation of energy. But the bear hair to me is kind of like representative of this Taurus energy, but also just being like a very overbearing person. So somebody that has a little bit of authority over your life. That could also be the emperor, to be perfectly honest. So because this card is representative of authoritative figures, and so that can really be either one of these two individuals, but there is a deterioration of the state of the relationship or the dynamic between one or both of these individuals, and that's why there's like a real push and pull type of energy with these two people showing up together. So the clarifying cards that came out for the Page of Wands in reverse, the cards that came out is the the Star card and also the Moon card. So there's a really like daydreamy type effect. It's weird because it's the Page of Wands, but it really has like a Page of Cups type energy. So it's like a really daydreamy type vibe. I kind of feel like you're in a space where you're really just kind of thinking about things again, because the card is in the reverse and it's looking back. It's like a kind of like reminiscing about certain things, or really just kind of like having daydreams or desires and really fantasies, that you're not necessarily kind of speaking on, right? So, but there is also a sense that there's something that you're keeping secret, like in terms of like whatever it is that you're daydreaming about. It might you don't necessarily want it to come out, right? I feel like you're trying to repress that, or trying to understand or trust the way that you feel emotionally about a situation, and so that is in your conscious realm, right? In the subconscious, the card that is coming out here is the Four of Pentacles. So inherently and underneath all of the layers and all the surface and the dynamics of this push and pull relationship, what you seem to be really focused on is your finances, which is again, the Fish card came out as a clarification. So you having a career, or you having your finances together, and not going through any difficult financial periods is really important to you. And that's kind of like feeding the dynamic of the situation, because there is the sense that even though there's a push-pull between obviously like your job, your boss, and your husband, or, someone that you have, a relationship with, being able to provide, being able to sustain your family is very important. And that is kind of like on the subconscious level, I feel like that is what's feeding the situation right now, and your focus on certain things, and honestly this dissension between these two individuals really comes down to, okay, well, I need to make sure that financially I'm okay, that I'm stable, that I have the finances that I need to take care of myself and my family. And so that is really important to me, and I don't necessarily know if I want to even express this, because I feel like you might be kind of afraid to express this, and so you're keeping it to yourself. Yeah. So the clarification is the Mountain and the Ring. So this is definitely about like a rough financial situation within a marriage. So you and your partner, or whoever you're married to or partnered with, have had like rough financial situations where money is like a major issue in the arguments, the dissension that you might have between the two of you. And I feel like you don't want to go back to that. So subconsciously, I feel like you're kind of trying to figure out a way to daydream yourself out of this situation, to really focus on your career, to really master your craft, to really kind of like be like in this apprentice situation with the Emperor, to learn as much as you can from this person, to help to kind of like build and sustain a meaningful long-term financial offering financial benefit to you, but really trying to sustain that for your overall career. Future, the card that comes out is the Judgment card. And so I feel like this is, you're having to make a decision about something, right? You're having to kind of really look at the pros and cons, and what is worth it and what is not worth it in terms of like the discrepancy between your home life and your work life. So you're going to have to kind of like come to the space where you make a decision or you make a judgment call, based on what is right and what needs to happen to kind of like maintain the life that you really want for yourself. And that's for some of you. For others of you, this is also like a thing where you're really going to be stepping into like your spiritual space. I feel like you might be navigating away from that emperor type energy and really trying to like dive more into like the spiritual aspect of yourself. And so this could be a period for rebirth for you, and really kind of following what your inner desires, what your innermost desires are in terms of making decisions upon, your life. So some of you might be getting messages, kind of like intuitive nudges about the direction that you need to be taking, in terms of the things in your life that you want to master, right? But with the Judgment card, it's really talking about making like a life changing major decision, on a logical note. And this decision is going to have like a long lasting effect, right? And so I feel like you're in the space where you're really trying to figure out what is of the most importance, and particularly focusing on what is going to be financially sustainable for you, because you do not want to be struggling. Okay. In the position of your current actions is the Three of Pentacles, which again, so this is like apprenticeship type energy. So again, you could be in Page of Wands mode, or that was a mode that you were in before, and now you're like doing like an internship, or really kind of like studying at the feet of like the master. You're learning from the emperor, really trying to getting your skills set up, dealing with, like a particular boss that can teach you things, but also working with other people and other individuals to kind of bring something to life, or just to kind of like learn more and kind of really deepen your knowledge and your skill set. So that's for some of you. But for others of you, this is like I said, there is some like really cheaty vibes going on. And so this could potentially be like a third party situation. It is in a space of your current actions. And so that is a very likely thing that could be happening, not for all of you, but for some of you. The card that comes out as clarifier for this is the Tower, the Rider, and the Moon card. And so, yes, this is like about secrets kind of like coming out. The Rider is a person that kind of comes in, they kind of like drop this information off. So someone from the outside could be potentially bringing out and revealing some secrets that are going to affect the institution. It could be your institution, it could be work, it could be home, it could be your marriage as an institution, it could be church. So there's definitely like a revelation of secrets pertaining to this Three of Pentacles type situation, which again, like I said, it could be you being revealed in terms of you having an affair, but it could also mean information coming out about the nature of the relationship with your boss. You could be having an affair with your boss, and so that might be something that kind of comes out. For some of you, this could be a new relationship that kind of comes in like out of the blue. And I feel like this relationship actually gets kind of like started due to you kind of feeling a little bit isolated and even lonely. I feel like this is like a potential for you to kind of like, stir up some stuff in you. With a Tower card here, that could also mean that as well. And so that could apply to a few of you. The card that comes out in the position of the outside influences affecting the situation is the Knight of Swords. And so this could potentially be an actual individual. So this is Gemini, Aquarius, Libra individual. Again, this is like the energy of like this fast incoming romance, this incoming thing. So if there is an affair or something happening, I don't feel like it's something that's necessarily planned out or plotted out. I think it happens as a result of you feeling lonely, or needing like an outside type of energy outside of the energy that you currently know. But I kind of feel like you're dealing with two people who are actually very similar to each other, if that makes sense, with the Emperor and the Hierophant. They seem like so similar. They seem like the same type of person, just in a different body. It's weird. And then the Knight of Swords could also indicate your actions as well, which is just kind of like rushing forward or rushing into something, kind of like head first without really considering what the consequences are to the situation. But it definitely feels like this energy is someone that's outside of yourself, and this could be like the energy that is being applied to you by either one of these Emperor or Hierophant individuals, or just a third person that can be completely outside of that, like a new person coming in. The clarifying cards is the dog, the man, the bear, and the moon. Again, so this idea of secrets being revealed. It could be somebody that you knew from your past, like another individual that you've known from your past. But the bear card is here. And so this is like an overbearing man. So again, I feel like you might be attracting the same type of person, or like I said before, it feels repetitive. It feels like you're repeating a cycle again, with this new dynamic or this new situation that you kind of like are rushing into, but you're rushing it into with someone that's new. They might be new in terms of you dealing with them. I feel like for some of you, this might be somebody that you've known for a long time, like a friend, or someone that you've been around before, or someone that you had something with in the past and like you're restarting it again. And so the moon is here again. Whenever I see the moon, it's also like a revelation of secrets. And again, this could be you being revealed that you're doing this, or this can be someone that you're in a relationship with, and their actions become revealed to you. The card that comes out in the position of your hopes, your dreams, and your fears is the Three of Cups in reverse. So I kind of feel like you are you might be fearful about this kind of coming out, right? This could be resulting in you kind of like losing focus on your overall goal and your overall mission. And so you might be in a space where you are kind of like partying a lot, you're hanging out, you're drinking a lot, or you used to be in that space and now you're kind of like falling back, and kind of really just being by yourself, and taking like a break from the social scene. So I feel like you might be kind of like fearful of that. Like you might not necessarily want to take a break, but you might need to. And also, again, there's this idea here of some lusty behavior, some third party situations. We have the Three of Cups, we have the Knight of Swords kind of like rushing into the situation, the Emperor, the Hierophant, and also the Three of Pentacles that came out before. So I kind of feel like you should think about whether or not you are overspending in the situation. If you're spending a lot of money, which is going to affect you if money is an issue for you and not wanting to struggle, you're going to be mindful of not overspending. Partying too much to kind of like not really think about what it is that is going on in your life. And you might also just kind of like be secluded. I feel like that is a fear for you, to just kind of like be secluded and having to deal with your issues on your own and not having supportive friends and supportive family members around you. But there's definitely, like I said, the idea of a third person being involved in this dynamic. If you don't know about it, it could be, like I said, it could be the person that you're dealing with. They could have someone and you might not know about it. You might know about it and you're just kind of like worried about it kind of coming to light. Yeah, I mean, you're definitely worried about it coming to light. We have the book card, the garden, and also the moon. And the moon has been coming out consistently in the last couple of clarifiers, but also the garden is really about something being public. And the book is like hidden knowledge. So you're really worried about this situation kind of coming to light. And in the final outcome, the card that comes out is the Queen of Wands in reverse. So this is Queen of Wands is like a person that kind of like loses like their confidence. So it kind of feels like you're going to be in a space again with the moon card, some things about the methods that you've been employing, or even about the way that you're thinking about, worrying about your marriage or worrying about your job, or the things that you're actively worrying about coming to light will come to light. Things have a way of doing that, but it's going to leave you in a space of feeling like a little bit of a lack of confidence in yourself, your ability to create the life that you want for yourself, whether that be in like the dynamic of a relationship, or whether that be through the dynamics of like employment or your job, or bringing like your creativity to light. But also, again, like if you are caught in a situation where you're in a third party situation, unknowingly or knowingly, this information coming to light is kind of leave you in a space where you're kind of going to be separating yourself from the people that you know, or putting you in a space where you're going to be isolated a little bit, and also kind of going through like a little rough patch in terms of the nature of the relationship. Yeah, so the cards that came out really kind of indicate like this secret knowledge coming out is really going to affect like all the institutions around you, and it's really going to put you in a state of suffering, and a little bit like a hardship here with the cross, the mountain, the book, the tower, but it's going to be temporary, right? Whatever ramifications come out of this information being revealed is going to be a temporary situation, and you're going to be back to being your old cheerful self again, sooner rather than later. Let's pull some advice cards for you, and I'm going to be using the angels and oracles, angels and ancestors oracle deck. And the cards that came out is the Great Teacher, to learn from spiritual experiences, and Medicine Mother, honor your inner knowing. This card actually came out for the Gemini reading as well. And so some of you might have Gemini in your chart, but you might also be dealing with the Gemini, because that did come up earlier. The Great Teacher card says, to know that what is happening around you is divinely inspired, learn from your current experiences, then share them with others. This card was inspired by Jesus, who is one of the most widely acknowledged and loved spiritual teachers of all time. But there is a great teacher in every tradition, and this card represents the one to whom you feel closest, as well as the great teacher within. The teacher wears simple clothes here to demonstrate that even if you live a simple life, it can be an incredible spiritual one. He is surrounded by a sense of serenity and harmony because he has absolute trust in the higher power that moves through him. And the dove on the card represents receiving answers to prayers through signs and experiencing peace through joy. This card can represent a teacher in your life or the great teacher within. Either way, it shows that you have dedicated a lot of time, energy, and effort to understanding yourself and the world. You are having spiritual experiences at this time and gaining a greater awareness of what you need to do in order to grow. There's a great chance that if you haven't been having any challenges recently, you've surmounted them and allowed them to be vehicles to lessons that are helping your spiritual connection. If you feel that you've received messages from heaven or the universe recently, this card is confirmation that these have indeed been holy experiences. And so no matter what happens, like even with the situation, however it turns out, like it's everything is a lesson. It's a lesson to teach you. Like I said earlier, I feel like a lot of this is like cyclical type energy. And so this is a teaching moment and a teaching lesson, a lesson for you, no matter what the outcome is, right? The second card that comes out is Medicine Mother. Take action, do what you need to do. Mother always knows best, they say, and it's true. We all know a maternal figure who is extremely intuitive and insightful, and this medicine mother has gone through many ups and downs. She has lived and she has lost. She knows what it's like to suffer and to give up. So the medicine of this card is that it's okay to make mistakes and get it wrong sometimes, and it's okay for things to come to an end. It's not the end of the world. It's just the end of one chapter and the beginning of something new. The medicine mother reminds you that even though you have low lows, you are not here to suffer. You're here to be supported and to support others. Let her give you the loving encouragement to take the next step forward. There's an old pattern rising up in you now, and it's time to deal with it and release it for good. You're being encouraged to love and respect yourself enough to take the steps you know you need to take to move closer to where you'd like to be. You already know the answers. You know what you need to do. You may have been using delaying tactics or holding back, and now you're being guided to take action. Action requires courage, but your angels and guides are bringing you the courage to move forward. Take just one step, and when you do, the next one will be presented to you. So this is really like a time for you to kind of live your daydreams out loud, right? To not hide the things that you're daydreaming about, to not keep the way that you feel to yourself, but to really just live out loud. And so this is an opportunity again to kind of like break out of some cyclical patterns and to take the lessons that you're learning and understanding why you keep entering into these cyclical patterns and what is behind that as an opportunity for growth, overall growth, but really just it's a spiritual growth to kind of like really put you in a state where you're being a judge over your own life and making logical steps and moving in a logical and forward moving direction. And that is a beautiful thing. Thank you so much for watching. This is the end of the reading. I really do appreciate you. Please go ahead and like the video, share your thoughts and your comments below, but also share the video with someone who you think could benefit from the message here today. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for post notifications, and I will see you soon.